So guys, State of Decay 3 is going to put a much bigger emphasis on story and characters according to an Xbox insider and reporter for Windows Central. And man, he says some pretty interesting things that is starting to give us an idea of what kind of game we're going to see. As always, if you're new here, I cover all things State of Decay 2 and 3 related, including news, live streams, guides, and playthroughs. Hit that red subscribe button and notification bell to know when my videos go live. So in a recent podcast called The Xbox 2 from the Ran L Thor 19 YouTube channel featuring Jez Corden, a reporter of Windows Central, started talking about a lot of things that he's heard from various Xbox projects and studios. Things like the game Avowed, what's happening with Obsidian, and I mean, he dropped a lot of nuggets, so if you're an Xbox fan, you're going to want to check that out. But thanks to an awesome follower of this channel who reached out to me on Twitter. Also, follow me on Twitter and join my Discord, and any info that you guys find like this, let me know. With that, I got linked a pretty juicy nugget on what Jez has heard about State of Decay 3 and what their focus is on certain things. Let's take a listen.
So what do you think of Undead Labs as a studio?
Undead Labs as a studio, they got a big question mark over them. You know, we've seen a really cool CGI trailer for State of Decay 3. We have no idea what the game looks like. We have no idea if they can even deliver something that is that photorealistic. I know that Undead Labs is putting a greater emphasis on narrative and characters for the next game. They want people to feel, and this is through information I've received a few weeks ago. They want people to feel like right now in State of Decay, you start feeling like your characters are more like tools. You don't really care about them that much. You care about how much power they have, but you don't care about them as characters. One of the goals for State of Decay 3 is to make you care about them as people, make you care about them as characters. So they're investing a lot in the narrative structure of the game. But beyond that, I have no idea what kind of game it's going to be. So I've still got faith in State of Decay 3, and like the details I've heard about them making the characters more believable and more interesting. That excites me. But you know, at the end of the day, they're a AA studio, so I sort of temper my expectations a bit. But yeah, State of Decay, I got high hopes for it.
So right there, guys, he goes on to say that he got inside information weeks ago where the plan is for you to start caring about your character and having a heavy focus on the narrative. He said even something that's key that I actually agree with. He said right now when you play State of Decay 2, the characters are more like tools. You care more about their power, but you don't really necessarily care about that character itself, and you're not really engaged with it. He also went on to talk about some other stuff in regards to the former Undead Labs head, Jeff Strain, and how it was a blow that he's gone, but the game should be fine, and I'm basically paraphrasing. A link to this podcast will be down below. But again, the goal is to make you care about them as people. That's what he says. So as you guys know, this franchise has featured permadeath. One would easily argue you cared about your characters back in the original State of Decay when someone actually died. But then that did somewhat go away in State of Decay 2. One reason I can point to is not being able to really name your own characters when you start a new community. Can make it really hard to get this personal, but what Jez said is not completely shocking, because again, on this channel, we have discovered that Undead Labs is set to implement a relationship system. This was posted on a job listing not long ago, hiring for a position at State of Decay 3. A relationship system, guys, would make it to where your people in your community start forming bonds of friendship or relationships, maybe romantic relationships. Of course, if you lose that person, it would be disastrous for morale, but in a more legit way than an arbitrary negative morale number that we currently have in State of Decay 2 that actually just disappears after like 30 minutes or an hour. So my guess is, this is just me guessing, we're going to see a familiar system like we have now where we have the community members, but it's going to be a bit more emphasis on the story parts maybe within your community and all the things forming there with actual real effects like I just mentioned ago. Either way, guys, this is really all extremely interesting. Little by little, we are really starting to piece together some good information on this game and what it can look like. Things like the creature system being implemented, the relationship system, and now obviously a greater emphasis on making the characters you control a lot more believable and real. I think these are great directions to take this next game, and I'm going to be curious, guys, what the team is going to be cooking up. here in the months and years ahead as more information continues to come out. Of course, guys, let me know your thoughts on all this news in the comments below. I'm Sunny, and as always, stay safe out there, survivors, and I'll see you in the next video.